Hey, everybody, and happy Friday here at Cocktails and Conversations on the Uplift. I hope you had a fabulous week since we saw each other last. And we're going to kick off tonight's episode with a recipe from our book. Now, I don't know how many of you bought it, but you need to because the cocktail that you picked is not as exciting as I thought it could have been for tonight's episode. The one that won by a long shot was a Classic Bellini, and it is featured Todd's book as I showed it on Instagram. So contents are very simple, right? Ingredients. We've got 2 ounces of chilled peach nectar, to which we add 4 ounces of chilled Prosecco and a peach wedge for garnish if you like. Peaches are not right this moment very much in season where I live, perhaps where you live, so you might be able to imbibe and dress up your cocktail with a little extra zhuzh. But for me, I included a peach slice that I had, don't judge, from a can, because I wanted that extra kind of syrupy sweetness in mine. So all those that you are saying something about canned peaches, don't knock it till you try it. And welcome to Cocktails and Conversations. Off we go. It might not be the most original, but my gosh, it's good. Okay, so bet you can't guess what we're going to be talking about this weekend. Mothers. Oh yeah, that's a juicy topic. We'll be able to go on and on about that for a while. It's interesting because before I was making my notes for what I was going to talk about today, I read an article, a blog that I wrote years and years and years ago after my mother passed. It was about 2 years after her passing. It took me a while to be able to write about it. She died, rather, I say unexpectedly, because we were only given about 30 days warning of cancer. She had cancer. And I noticed in the blog, I said, I lost my mother 2 years ago, whatever the time frame was. And I don't know why people say they lost their mother, because I, for one, know exactly where she is. She's in a cedar box inside my room where I see her every single day. She is not lost to me, and neither are the things that she passed on and mothered me with. And that's kind of where I want to go with tonight's conversation anyway. We're going to develop this as the weekend progresses. We tend to give our moms a hard time, but we judge them a little too harshly. If you are lucky enough to have had one, you're lucky enough. Not all moms are superheroes. A lot of them make mistakes that we carry on with us throughout the years. And why is that? Because they're human. For those of you on the call that are parents, imagine your moms, just like we went through in the hospital, when they give you this infant and they say, okay, bye now. And you say, does anyone here realize I have no idea what I'm doing? Our moms went through that same thing. And there was a lot less, depending on your age, information and adaptation than there is in these more modern times. My mom was a lot. She was a lot. And she was a really big, bold, brazen personality, kind of, whatever she thought, she said, like it or not. And kind of as a child, very, very hard for me to come out of the shadow from. And all those issues posed some problems for me to learn how to adapt. I look at what talents my mother had, what appreciation my mother had for things, the style in which she conducted herself. families, I think, and perhaps you agree, evolve by not just repeating the cycles of what our parents did and how they raised us. But for me, families evolve, and this is something that I share with my kids. You take whatever is good or poignant or funny or crafty or heartfelt about both your dad and I, and you carry that forward. And all the rest of the stuff that you interpret as mistakes or counterproductive or criticisms or negativity, you leave at that spot in the road as you walk down it and become your own person. In this way, we get the best and most positive, and that's why we're here on the Uplift, right? Because we're focusing on the positive. So tonight, I want to focus on the positive that specifically your mom gave to you. What do you mimic? What did you bear witness to? What emotion did she have that you wanted to echo and repeat? What talent did she display that you picked up and carried through? What was part of your mom that lives in you today? And is that part being something that your children are going to want to pick as that good piece and carry farther down the road? Now, listen, not everybody that is on this podcast is a parent, but we all mother people in our lives and have the opportunity to mother people that we're close to as well. I have friends who mother me. I have my aunts who step in and mother me, even at my age right now. They're people I could depend on for balance and bounce off of ideas. Who do you mother? Who have you made an impact on in a positive way? The blog that I wrote, which I'm including in the description box on the YouTube channel of this, it's a read. If you feel like sitting down with a cup of coffee or your Bellini tonight and reading something that might make you reflective about your own experience with your mom, I recommend it. It was thought-provoking for me to write because I had a lot of negativity about my experience with my mother because she was so bold, because I felt like I was always the lesser than version of her. And I lived a lot of my life, I think, at first trying to compete with that spotlight, and then in the later part, just actually withdrawing and letting her have the stage. But she taught me how to be creative and brave and funny and sensitive and giving and intelligent and appreciative of the arts and of books and of places that so far I've only dreamed of. So I thought, what better assignment for me to give to you, because I know we have girlfriends that are waiting to sign off this podcast, and you're going to discuss the topic tonight amongst yourself, or my friends, the married couple that said, we're going to do this on Friday nights and then talk about whatever you have put forward for us to ponder. So tonight, on kind of like the eve of Mother's Day weekend, when we'll all be with family, if yours is lucky enough to still be with you, once you write down or conceptualize the things that you found positive and powerful and worth replicating with your world, you should tell her about it and share it with her. That'd be the best gift anybody could ever give their mom. The power of influence, the power of progress, and the power of touching someone who's still around, that you could recognize that and share it with them. All right. Reflect about what was authentic about your mom. What was powerful? Even one piece of something you're bringing forward. What did she teach you not to be? For those of you whose relationships may not be in such a positive place as mine was. That's something worth pondering. And that's something for those of us that are on the call, if our children are of the age to have this discussion, to say to your kids, hey, I was listening to something tonight. What good parts of me are you going to bring forward to your family, to your children, to your life, to your friends? And what bad parts are you leaving behind? No, don't tell me the bad parts. It's Mother's Day. Let's just focus on the good. I have a wonderful quote of the day for you. It is very much in tune with what we are discussing right now. As you go through life, no matter what you do or how you do it, you leave small footprints, and those imprints become your legacy. What is the legacy of your mom that lives in you tonight? Curl up with a cocktail, read the article tomorrow morning during tea or coffee. I will see you tomorrow on the Uplift, and thank you for spending part of your Friday night with me.